Southwest Florida's news source. This is Fox 4 News at 6.
Now at 6, a bird in the hand is one thing, but a baby? The community conversation over a picture of a child care worker in Southwest Florida balancing a baby on one hand.
A Southwest Florida cop accused of committing crime against another law enforcement officer. What investigators say he did in uniform.
Decision day in a Lee County courtroom. A woman accused in the death of a little boy in her care inside this home, finding out her fate after he was wrapped in a blanket so tight he couldn't breathe. But first,
4 in your corner following breaking news in Lehigh Acres tonight. That 3-year-old child rushed to the hospital after she was shot in the foot.
all of this playing out this afternoon in the home in the 4000 block of Banning Street. And that's where we find 4 in your corner's Katie Jones live with the very latest. Katie?
Well, deputies aren't on scene, are not telling us much right now, only that they received a medical assist call around 3 o'clock this afternoon that led them to this home on Banning Street. And through their investigation, they discovered a 3-year-old girl living at the home had suffered a gunshot wound to the foot. Now, they aren't saying exactly how she was shot, if it was self-inflicted, if she was shot at, or if a gun just simply went off. The 3-year-old's injuries are very minor. She is expected to be okay. But neighbors we talked to living nearby say kids are out playing in this area all the time and can't believe something like this happened here.
Loaded gun within range of a kid. Crazy. I mean, shouldn't have happened.
Again, the 3-year-old suffered from non-life-threatening injuries. She is expected to be okay, but this is all the information the sheriff's office is releasing to us at this time, but we will, of course, pass along any new details to you as we get them. For now, we are live in Lehigh Acres. Katie Jones, Fox 4 in your corner.
Katie, a single photo raising some concerns among parents tonight at a Fort Myers daycare. An anonymous tip from a parent at the daycare providing this photo showing a woman appearing to balance a baby in the palm of her hand. Now, the parent who contacted us says it's not her child in the photo, but she wants the facility to take action here. 4 in the corner's Lisa Greenberg live telling us there are still some unanswered questions here. Lisa?
Patrick, the parent who sent us the tip tells us her child went to Riverdale Learning Academy right here in Fort Myers. Now, we don't know for sure if the photo was taken here or who's holding the baby in the photo, but what we do know is that the DCF is investigating and that parents, well, they're not happy about it. Seeing that photo, what's your reaction to that?
Shocked, worried.
Stephanie Anthony tells me she's concerned about this photo. We got an anonymous email from another parent who says their child goes to Riverdale Learning Academy. She sent us this screenshot from Instagram of a woman balancing a baby in one hand and asked Fox 4 to investigate. Anthony's son goes to the preschool program at Riverdale Learning Academy, and when I showed her the image yesterday,
I wouldn't balance my own child off my hand. That can cause emergencies. It can cause him to split his head open. No.
So I took these parents' concerns to Riverdale Learning Academy to verify the photo and find out exactly what's going on. I wasn't allowed inside, so I tried calling the daycare and had to leave a message.
I just came to your learning center to see if I could talk to someone about a photo we received from a parent.
When I called the academy back today, the director referred my questions to the Department of Children and Families. So I did just that. The DCF spokeswoman tells me they've seen the photo in question and are investigating the circumstances surrounding it. In an email, she says, quote, "We are very concerned and our licensing team is looking into the matter. At this time, I can't confirm the exact violation they will receive until our licensing staff has a chance to fully investigate." And while we still don't know who the woman in the photo is, if it was taken at Riverdale Learning Academy, or the relationship between the two, Anthony tells me she wants an explanation.
What if you saw a photo of this with your child involved?
I'd probably take him out of the class.
Now, it's important to note that the daycare hasn't received any significant violations since its opening, and its last inspection was in November of this year. Now, you can count on 4 in your corner to bring you the latest information in this situation just as soon as we have it. We're live in Fort Myers. Lisa Greenberg, Fox 4 in your corner.
Thank you, Lisa. You've seen the photo for yourself here on Fox 4. What do you think about it? Do you think too much is being made of it? Do you think the daycare should take action, or should be action taken against the daycare? Call us 239-206-FOX4 or email at news@fox4now.
A bizarre twist out of Hendry County tonight. A police officer landing on the wrong side of the law. A Clewiston police officer remains in Hendry County Jail tonight after turning himself in last night. Officer Fernando Herrera, a veteran with the force, is now charged with aggravated stalking and battery of an officer. 4 in Your Corner's Warren Wright joining us live in the studio tonight. He's got all the details. Warren?
Well, Amy, Herrera has since been placed on paid administrative leave pending the outcome of an internal investigation, which could lead to more charges. The department says it all began last Saturday evening at the Shell gas station on State Road 80. According to the report, an off-duty deputy was returning to his squad car when Herrera, in his police uniform, approached him and started yelling at him. The report goes on to say that moments later, Herrera punched the deputy with a closed fist and pushed him to the ground. Herrera then reportedly dropped to his knees on top of the deputy and continued to punch him in the head and face. The deputy eventually gained control by grabbing Herrera's wrist, but over the next few minutes, Herrera continued to yell at the deputy before, quote, alluding to the fact he had a gun in his truck and that things could have been much worse. Herrera reportedly went on to say that he even has thoughts of burning down his home with him inside before leaving the scene. Herrera turned himself in on Tuesday, one day after the battery report was filed, and he's just been released on $7,000 bond. However, as of tonight, still no word on exactly what sparked this confrontation. But count on Fox 4 to keep you updated on this developing story. Live in the studio, Warren Wright, Fox 4 in your corner.
In the Storm Patrol Center now with Jim Sign. Almost muggy out there considering we're in the first week of December.
Yeah, it's getting a little more humid. It's still pretty comfortable though. Let's take a look at our Zoom 10 Skycam. I'm hoping we have enough sunlight here. We're looking at a shower. It's on the right-hand side of your screen. Maybe you can see it, maybe you can't. If you have a big monitor, you might be able to make out that shower. That's a shower that right now is in Punta Gorda. And yes, there is a little bit of rain out there, evidence of the fact that, as Patrick said, it is getting a little more humid, a little more muggy out there, using the power of 4 Doppler radars to track that rain. Now, the major rain is out in the Gulf of Mexico, but with an east to northeasterly wind, we're seeing a little bit of moisture coming in from the other side of the state, a little Atlantic moisture. Zooming in and using our street-level mapping, showing you the light showers, one right on top of Englewood. Then there's one in Punta Gorda. Boy, that one in Punta Gorda looks like it's just kind of rained itself out. Actually, go a little farther into Charlotte Harbor. That's where the rain right now is a little bit heavier. Temperatures in the 70s right now, 72 in Port Charlotte, 75 in Immokalee, 75 our current temperature in the Cape. Good stuff for us tonight, but there is a chance for showers again in our forecast. We'll talk about that. Here comes cold front, going to affect our weather for the weekend, and there may be some pretty good travel trouble in the Northeast. We'll tell you where those travel delays might be coming up in just a couple of minutes.
A major development in a case that shocked Southwest Florida, a jury reaching a verdict in what's being called a barbaric case of child abuse. Gail Watkins will spend time in prison in connection with the smothering death of her 3-year-old grandson. 4 in Your Corner's Tara Molina rejoining us now in the studio with details. Tara?
Patrick, it only took a jury about 20 minutes to convict her of aggravated manslaughter in the death of 3-year-old Michael McMullen. He suffered in 6 blankets back on October of last year, and Watkins was among the 3 people arrested in this case. McMullen's babysitter, Donella Traynor, and his stepfather, Douglas Garrigus, are already serving 20 and 10 years in prison, respectively. Prosecutors say Traynor wrapped McMullen in 6 blankets so tight he couldn't breathe. They say all this was a form of punishment. Garrigus admitted to checking on McMullen, but never letting him out of those blankets. Meanwhile, Watkins is accused of knowing about all this, but doing nothing to save McMullen. Although Watkins did not take the stand during her trial, the state's case says she was criminally negligent, and it was strong enough to get a speedy guilty verdict. Watkins is set to be sentenced for her role in this death on January 12th. Her charges carry a minimum of 13 years and a maximum of 30 years in prison. And you can count on Fox 4 in Your Corner to bring you any new developments. Live in the studio, Tara Molina, Fox 4 in Your Corner.
It's a story that has left several Marco Island residents completely stunned. The murder of a man allegedly at the hands of his own girlfriend. 24-year-old Lisa Tremner was covered in blood when she allegedly walked into a 7-Eleven, admitting that she had just killed her boyfriend, 30-year-old Trevor Smith, inside the condo that they shared. Now, if she was telling the truth, what could have driven her to commit such a violent crime? 4 in Your Corner's Carl Fortier speaking with a domestic violence expert not associated with this case for some insight.
Well, the executive director for the Shelter for Abused Women and Children in Naples says domestic violence can happen to anyone, and that whether or not Lisa Tremner intentionally killed her boyfriend, the tragic outcome could have been avoided.
It happens over time, and it starts with verbal abuse and then escalates into physical abuse.
And according to a Collier Sheriff's Office report, that's how Lisa Tremner told detectives things spiraled out of control early Tuesday morning, telling them she stabbed Trevor Smith in their Marco Island condo. Linda Oberhaus, executive director of the Shelter for Abused Women and Children in Naples, isn't surprised by the weapon Tremner said she used.
In the majority of domestic violence homicides, what we know is the victims are usually female, not male. In cases where the victims are male, a knife is typically used, as happened in this case.
Tremner's Facebook page showed her and Smith as a happy couple, and Tremner as a young woman who loved plants and nature. A far cry from the distraught appearance she showed when she faced a judge on Wednesday. The sheriff's report reveals Tremner told detectives she tried to kill herself.
A high percentage of cases actually attempt suicide. Some are successful, some not successful, so I wasn't surprised to hear that.
Oberhaus says that while this case had a disastrous outcome, domestic violence fatalities have fallen off since domestic abuse shelters began to spread in the 70s.
What we saw is a decrease in domestic violence homicides, with both women being killed and also with men being killed.
And she hopes men and women in violent relationships seek help to avoid situations that can turn deadly.
If somebody finds himself in a domestic violence situation, the best thing they can do is just get help at their local domestic violence center.
Now, if you need assistance with a domestic violence situation, you can call a 24-hour hotline. It's 1-800-500-1119. In Naples, Carl Fortier, Fox 4, in your corner.
Still to come on Fox 4 News at 6, protecting puppies. What authorities are doing to make sure the animals are not being abused in Southwest Florida.
Fox facelift. We're finally unveiling $2 million worth of renovations at 4 in your corner, and we're going to show you how it'll all benefit you.
But first, downtown Cape Coral on the upswing. The new retail store is familiar names moving in to give you more shopping options. Next.
Using the power of 4 Doppler radars to track a little bit of rain in Southwest Florida. May get some rain this weekend. We'll tell you when that rain could fall, and we're also tracking a cool front. It's all coming up.